Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. My name's ThaTimster. Today I'm going to be showing you how to bake normal maps in the Blender game engine. So first of all, you might be thinking, what are normal maps? Well, if you haven't seen them before, they are these sort of purple, pink, bluish, weird looking patterns that you can put on an object, like this one for example, and then the lighting in your scene will adjust to the texture. So basically, if I move this lamp around here, we can see it really is looking like it is a three-dimensional object, and we actually do have holes in the cube, and only if you go really close can you actually see it is perfectly flat. So this is a really good way of sort of faking high resolution objects, and so you don't actually have to make high resolution objects, you can just use a low resolution and bake on the normal map. So that's what we're going to be doing today, so without further ado, let's get started. So in the description will be a link to a starting.blend, so if you want to go along and follow through that, that's fine. Otherwise, if you just want to do it with one object you've already made, then feel free to do that as well. So I'm going to open up my starting.blend right here, and basically what I have here is another one of these sort of strange looking high resolution cubes. As you can see, I've subdivided it, taken some sections, extruded them inwards, and made it look sort of really fancy. Then in here we have a sort of weird looking triangle cone thing. Basically what I was sort of really quickly trying to replicate is, for example, on a gun, I think it's the M16s, they have a muzzle thing on the front, and it looks sort of a little similar to that. So possibly if you wanted to use it for that, then you could do that. And then also on the side here I have, this almost looks like a solar panel, but I guess it could be that or a heater. So we're going to be transforming all of these into very low resolution objects, but with normal maps. So let's get started on this first one here. So the main basic shape we want is just a cube. So I'm going to press Shift A and I'm going to add myself a cube, and then I'm going to move it along the y-axis, and I'm going to line it up just like that. Now for the best results you want it to be almost lined up perfectly, so numpad 3, and then I'm going to go, I guess down here you can go to wireframe, otherwise you can just press Z. And then we're going to go into wireframe, we're going to zoom in heaps, and we're going to try get this as accurate as possible. So something like that. Then I'll press S and hold down Shift, so it's in really small increments, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner, and then I'll move my mouse just a little bit. Maybe that was even too much, so S, Shift again, and we just want it a teensy bit bigger than the original object. Okay, so something like that. So now if we go back into texture view, it's completely hidden. Now this object here, we can go and call it low resolution, or just low res. The other one, for now, we can just call high res. And then basically what we want to do is select our object here, low resolution, make a new window, select UV image editor, and then press Tab, and U and Smart UV Project, then click OK, and it'll sort of chop it up in there. Now we need an image, so we're going to click New Image, and I'm going to call it Normal Map, like so, and then I'll click OK, and there we go. So we'll move that across, and then we'll press Tab again to go out of edit mode, and it's very easy now, so you can be in either Blender Render or Blender Game. Then if you go to the render settings and you scroll down, you should see a bake function. So I'm going to open up that bake function, and what we want to bake is the normals. Those settings are all fine for me. One more thing I'm going to do though is here and check this box here, which is selected to active, I think. Yep. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is first of all clicking in here, selecting our high resolution object, then holding down Shift and selecting our low resolution, and then we're going to click Bake. That will take a little while, and then if you notice over here, that sort of blank mask has now turned into a nice pattern. So if you didn't get that, I'll just quickly go over it again. So select the high resolution, so the one with all the lines, then hold down shift and it will select the other one, which is the low resolution, and then we'll click bake, and then that will bake this nice little pattern on here. Okay, and just so Blender doesn't sort of throw it out the window, it's done it to me a couple times, make sure you select save as image. And then once you have your name sorted out, you can save the image on your desktop or wherever, and yep, that should be fine. So now we're going to move our low resolution cube over here. Then we're going to give it a new material, no specular, you can leave on back facing. We're going to give it a new texture, image or movie, UV. Under image sampling, select normal map, and scroll down, turn off color, and turn on geometry. And this one here is normal. Okay, and down here we want to select normal map. And there we go, that's all of it done. So now we have our really high resolution object, which was 1830 vertices, and that's been converted down into an object right here which is only 8. So that is a huge improvement and definitely will create a much better performing game. So now we have two fairly similar looking cubes, except one here is obviously looking a little sharper, but again that's only to the resolution of the image. So for example this one, when we click new, we only made it 1024 by 1024, so it might just slightly blur it out a little, but definitely it's looking very similar to the high resolution one, which is good. So there we go, that's the first one done. Now I'm going to move on to the second one here, so I'll move my light over just so it looks a little better. Then I'll press Shift A, and I'm going to add a cylinder. But for the game engine, 32 vertices really isn't necessary, so maybe 16 at the very most. Otherwise you can even turn it down to, I don't know, 12. Maybe we'll try 12. 12 should be fine. Okay, and then we're going to press RX90. Then we'll press numpad 3. Then we'll press Z to go into wireframe, press tab, and we'll select this face over here and drag it across so it's all the way on the edge, so right here. And then we'll select our other end and drag it over here, then press S to scale, and we want it just bigger than our object. So same with this end, just slightly bigger and slightly out a bit more. Okay, so now if we go into texture view, as you can see there's still bits poking out, which is bad. So if that's still happening, we can press S and then Shift Y, so it's just in these two directions, and then we can hold down Shift and drag our mouse until all of it's gone, like that. There's still a little bit here, so I'm going to do it a bit more. Shift Y and S, and there we go. Now the reason I did Shift Y is so it didn't scale this way, so because yeah, we'd already set up the boundaries here and they didn't have pieces sticking out. This is going to be our low resolution, so I guess just low res cylinder, and then we'll select our high resolution one. That's just fine with cylinder. And then our low resolution one, we have to give it a new image, so open this up a bit, press T to get rid of this menu. We're going to press tab and A to deselect everything, and then A to select everything, and then press U and Smart UV project. Click OK, and that will sort of pop up a new image. So if that is sort of sticking out a little bit here or there, then what you can also do is press T to bring up this menu and change the angle limit. So yeah, it will sort of rearrange depending on how you've set that up. So if it's not working, just sort of turn that value up and down till it fits. So once you've got that in a new image, we'll click new, and this one is going to be called cylinder, and then normal, or just nor, like so. Maybe that's good. Then I'm going to click OK, and that'll just be our blank slate. And then I'll press tab to go out of edit mode, and then again back to the render settings, scroll down, we've got our settings set up here already, so I'm going to press T just to give me more space, and then I'm going to select my high resolution object, so this one right here underneath it. You can do this as well if you press Z. You can see the wireframe, so you can see if you've selected the high resolution object. Then hold down shift and we'll select the low resolution object like so, and then we'll click bake, and there we go, it's made our nice normal map for us. Now if you do it the wrong way around, so for example select the low resolution and then the high resolution and then click bake, all that will pop up is no objects or images found to bake to. So very easy, doesn't break anything, you just know you've done it the wrong way around. So high resolution and then low resolution, and then we'll click bake, and there we go. We'll quickly apply it as a texture, so select high resolution, I guess, move it over here, low resolution over here, then we'll give it a new material, turn off specular, new texture, image or movie, UV, normal, under geometry, turn on sampling here, select normal map, and we'll select cylinder normal. So there we go, that's the second one done. Now this one does look a little bit more funny, so I'm going to try and fix that by turning it to smooth. That sort of works. Again, it does look slightly different, I guess because of the it only really has 4 directions to map it out into. But yeah, I mean that still definitely looks a lot more high resolution than just a plain 16 or 12 vertice cylinder that we had before. So yeah, still looking very nice, just slightly off. So anyway, on to our last one over here. Move the light over here. Then I'm going to press Shift A, add a cube, and this time it doesn't fit our thing here, so I'm going to press SX to scale on the X axis, and we want it not too thin. I'm just going to make this window bigger. Okay, and we want it to help us. I can press numpad 7 to go into top view, and we can press SX until it's the right size, so something like that. Then SY and out like that, and we just want it just over the top and bottom, so something like that. You have to obviously watch both. Okay, and the bottom here is just slightly over, and the top is just slightly under, so I'm going to move it up, and okay, now just to be sure I'm going to press SY again and just do it slightly over again, so rather have it over than under, because otherwise it gets you really weird results. So then once I've done that, I'll press SZ and scale it on the Z axis, and just want it over again, so numpad 3, then tab and Z to go into wireframe, and we just want to make sure that this line is over top like so. Same for the bottom, so just underneath, and we'll double check the sides as well. They already are over the sides, so they're fine. Okay, so now we can press tab to go out of edit mode, and again texture view, then this is going to be our low resolution, so let's just make it a heater, so low res heater, then we'll click OK, and then select our high resolution, and we'll just call it heater, and then our low resolution, we now need to give it a new image, so I'm going to press tab, A to deselect, A to select everything, and before we do anything else though, before we unwrap it, we have sort of squashed it down quite a bit and scaled it, so to make the sort of UV map a bit more accurate, we can press tab to go out of edit mode, press Ctrl A to apply scale, and that will make it a lot more accurate. So now if we press tab, U and Smart UV project with everything selected, and then click OK, Then now, as you can see, there's sort of thin parts on the sides are thin parts here, and the flat sides that are a lot larger on here as well. So I'm going to click new image, and then here I'm going to call it heater norm, or just norm even, really anything you want, just so you know it's a normal map. And then you can turn up the resolution if you want, because we do have it spread out a bit more, but I'm just going to click OK. So there we go, the blank slate. Then I'll press tab to go out of edit mode, go to the render settings, scroll down till we're down in the bake side, select the high resolution heater, hold down shift, select the low resolution and click bake, and there we go, we have it all baked out. So you can double check it, so we'll select our low resolution, move it over here, high resolution over here, and then we'll give it a new material, no specular, new texture, image or movie, UV, normal map under sampling, normal under geometry, no color, and we'll select heater. Okay, and as you can see, what it sometimes does with the corners and stuff, if they're slightly off, they might look just a little bit funny like this. That's obviously because this object does have it sort of scaled inwards, so it's sort of hard for the program to portray. But if you did want to, for the low resolution one here, you could go into edit mode before you baked it, of course, and yeah, squish up those parts if it really is a problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, a comment, or share. All of that stuff is greatly appreciated. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.